Hi, I'm Eric Marsh, Executive Director of Whitewater Community Television in Richmond. Thanks for joining me on today's Eastern Indiana Works. If you follow Eastern Indiana Works on social media, you've probably seen the phrase, developing tomorrow's workforce today. We showed you a piece of how that phrase becomes real when we spotlighted JAG, Jobs for America's Graduates, on an earlier episode. We'll dig deeper into JAG on future episodes. Today, you'll meet Chris Lamb, Director of the Newcastle Career Center, and find out how some current and former students are getting support from Eastern Indiana Works on a big program in Newcastle, and how they're getting some hands-on experience. But first, we had a chance to talk with Craig Kinyon, President and CEO of Reid Health. Craig is also a member of the Eastern Indiana Works Board. Here's that conversation. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Eastern Indiana Works. We have a chance to sit down with Craig Kinyon from Reid Health. Thank you very much for spending some time with us today.
Pleased to do it.
You are a board member for Eastern Indiana Works. Tell us, out of all the things that you could do, and I know people are after you to do a number of different things, tell me why you decided to work with this particular organization.
Sure. As we're in healthcare, taking care of the health of our community, we also feel that's a responsibility for the economic health of the community. So if the area that we're serving is not economically well, that impacts the level of care that we provide, in the sense that the resources for what we provide in healthcare are dependent upon those that are paying for healthcare. So if you want to talk economics, there's an economic issue that any organization like ours relies upon a strong local economy. From the standpoint of economic growth and development, it also is an important attraction for us, and it relates to recruitment, retention, and so forth. We compete for positions on a national scale, so we have to have a vibrant community to be able to attract the type of talent and expertise that we need to take care of the patients and fulfill our mission.
We've had a chance to talk to, during this program, a couple of economic development people. Not everybody sees the correlation between economic development and workforce development, but you're saying there's really a strong relationship between those two.
Absolutely. It's any organization like ours that has a local product, in a sense. Healthcare services are local. We don't produce products and sell them to San Diego, so to speak. So if our local economy is not strong, then that reflects poorly in the organization's value of resources that they have to serve the community. That makes our job even more challenging. So those are things that any organization like ours has to deal with, and needs to be very involved in the health of the local economy.
When you look at workforce development and the variety of different people that you need here, whether it's nurses, doctors, people working in dietary, whatever, talk about what you see as far as the skill set of the workforce that we have right now, and what more do you think this area could use?
Sure. This is a city that never sleeps. We run 24/7. We have to have all of the logistics of everyday life each and every hour. So that means not just for our patients, but for their family members, visitors, for our staff. So we have to accommodate everything for 24/7 living in this organization. So we have that challenge there. This organization needs every single skill set you can imagine, from the most highly trained physicians to the folks that are high school graduates and aren't necessarily looking to college careers, but we need all of them because all the skill sets here are either providing direct patient care or supporting direct patient care. There aren't any extra positions at Reid that do anything but either direct or indirect support of patient care. So everybody has a role. Everybody's important. The skill sets vary, and they are on different platforms for recruitment. So we probably can do well recruiting for the high school level diploma positions here locally. But when you get further out into the expertise and training you need, you're competing with multi-states and across the country for the type of people we need to attract. What's really unique and wonderful about this location is that we're right next to IU East, right next to Ivy Tech and Purdue, and over this side of town is Earlham College. So we're really blessed with the education components that make our job a whole lot easier and more successful. In addition, we have a radiology-based school. There's only about one of 200 in the country, so we have the ability to train radiology technicians here on a program as well. So the educational component of healthcare is an absolute necessity. That resource is required for everything that we do. So the nursing school next door at IU East, those students can walk over here for their on-site development and go back for their classroom work, and it just makes their life even easier. So it's a great setup for us here. This isn't necessarily the norm for organizations, but this is really a blessed area for us for providing health care and supporting health care.
Even beyond what's happening in Wayne County, where Reid Health is centrally located, you're stretching out throughout the entire region, whether it's down in Connorsville, whether you've bought property even across the state line. So talk about what you see from a regional basis now for the workforce, and going back to the beginning of our conversation, the economic development pieces that need to be put into place throughout the entire region.
Yeah, sure. It's been a journey, and to your point, Eric, it started years ago as more of a community hospital. Really was taking care of a much smaller radius. It's grown in the last 24 years I've been here to a regional health system. So we had 24 years ago 1,100 employees. Now we have 3,200. We had one property down the street 24 years ago, and another property across the street we leased to an orthopedic group. That was it. Now we're into 8 counties. We have 50 physician practices that have come on board, and other facilities in other areas to provide patient care. So it has been a nonstop daily process of growth and managing growth, but filling in that niche. So if you looked at our map, you'd see Indianapolis to the west about an hour or so. You'd see Dayton about 45 minutes to an hour to the east, and to the southeast, Cincinnati about an hour and 15 minutes or so. And that captured environment between all of those areas is a lot of small towns and rural communities. So we are the area for a destination of key health services. So if a patient is having a stroke, there's a limited window on what we can do for stroke care that's required to get a person here right away upon onset of symptoms. Absent our ability to provide that measure of health care, that service, the time to travel to somewhere else in an urban area would eliminate the opportunity for their one and only shot at TPA. It's a clot-busting drug for stroke care. For heart attacks, in the area ambulances that we team up with and work with together, we've put technology into those ambulances that allow us to see in the field a broadcast of the EKG of the patient. So if we determine from the EKG that the patient is having a heart attack, we can already bring the heart team on site here before the patient even arrives. Access to Richmond Airport. So some organizations park their life flight helicopters at the Richmond Airport. They can be here on site when a patient's en route and likely may need to be sent out to a level 1 trauma center. So there's a lot of opportunity here to fill in that niche, that area between those 3 urban areas.
As you look at continued growth for your organization, for this region, when it comes to the area of workforce development, we talked how strong the Wayne County area is with the number of educational institutions they have. Looking at where the high schools in this region are, because you said we can even take people with just that high school degree. What are some of the things that you think from an educational standpoint would be helpful in developing the workforce throughout this region?
Sure. You know, we have fantastic school systems all around us, and our opportunity is to make sure the great work that they're doing and the unique propositions that each of them has as it relates to education are well known and exploited. In other words, when people come here, we obviously need to establish not just a work here, but a live here solution. So working in the organization is one threshold, but can they bring their family here? Can they live here? And if they're bringing small children or planning to have small children, they need to know that this area is going to be livable for them. And education is a top issue. So we need to partner with our educational areas and resources to make sure that they're strong. Not only that, but well known for what they have and what they have going on. There's great stories in each of them, and so we certainly want to make sure that those stories are getting out. So the resources in this community are vital to our existence because that helps the live here component. Also gives us a more local supply of talent and workforce that we need because of the just changing over of different people transitioning out because of retirements or changes in location based on family need and so forth. So there's a constant churn in our workforce, and we always have a lot of activity going on recruiting new people in.
We're going to take a look at what some of the high school students over at Newcastle are doing as we continue with Eastern Indiana Works. Back to Eastern Indiana Works. We mentioned that we were going to find out how some of the students are learning and what they're doing, so we came over to Newcastle and we're talking with Chris Lamb, who is the director of the Career Center here at Newcastle High School. Thanks for taking some time with us.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your Career Center here at Newcastle. How many schools feed into it? How many programs do you have? What are the students touching?
So Newcastle Career Center was organized in 1972. It's the only career center in Henry County. We service 8 school corporations, not only in Henry County, but some of the surrounding counties. Our student populations are around 500. We have 18 programs that are part of just about every sector that you would find in the workforce.
Okay. What are some of the programs that you're developing students in?
So right now, the health occupations is really popular. So we actually added an additional CNA program that was an offshoot of our pre-nursing program, because there are some students that just want to do CNA.
Sure.
So we started that class next year. I was concerned that it wasn't going to fill up, but we filled it up within 2 weeks. So we're excited about that. Those students will, as soon as they complete the first 9 weeks, they'll go right into the workforce, and we'll do more of a work-based learning after the first week in a paid internship.
We're here at the field house, which a lot of people know. They come here, a lot of basketball has been played here.
Absolutely.
To talk about what some of the students that we see in the background, the project that they've been working on for this summer and how Eastern Indiana Works got involved in that.
So I attended an Eastern Indiana Works council meeting, and someone spoke about a workplace experience program, and dealing with 16 to 24-year-old youth. And I knew that I had some students that could get into that program, because we had a big task to fulfill here in Newcastle, and that's to work on to refurbish the seating in the field house. The students are Career Center students that not only are from Newcastle, but they come from other schools that feed into the Career Center. We have manufacturing students here. Most of the students are building trade students. The students that were in building trades, they get to build a new house every year, and we have a great partnership with Habitat for Humanity, and we build a Habitat house every year, which is a new build, but we wanted to show them a different experience, and that was a restoration project. This is a 60-year-old facility, and most of the seating is that old, so they are able to see not only a new build, but also what someone would do in industry in restoration.
What has that process been like through Eastern Indiana Works? What did they help as far as the partnership, the pay, and has the process been seamless?
So the process was somewhat slow in the beginning, but after we processed the first couple of students, what was taking 4 to 5 days, we cut it down to about 2 days to get the students from the time they apply to actually here working. The application process was easy. We set the pay scale based on what an entry-level worker would make in this field. Okay. There's some limitations for the students to get them enrolled in the program. There have to be employability barriers. There's a max amount that they can participate. Fortunately, these students are here in Newcastle, working in Newcastle, and Newcastle's going to, once they reach that max cap on salary, Newcastle's going to continue to pay them until the project is finished.
Nice. How long has this project been going on?
So we started the second week of June. This is about 4 weeks.
Okay. And you're going to go through
mid-August.
Mid-August. Okay. And by the time this is done, all of them will have been sanded. Those that need to be replaced will have been replaced.
Yep.
Have a nice stain, a nice finish on it.
Yeah, a beautiful facility.
Great. Have there been any issues with the students? These have been full 8-hour days for them.
Right. So with Newcastle Career Center, we're a member of the Governor's Work Ethic Certificate Program. So the students are measured on attendance, basically employability, soft skills. Nice. These students have participated in that program. So really, during the school year, they had 98% attendance, and so we knew that would carry over to working here. So overall, no issues.
Nice. Is this something that you think you can find a way to continue as the next few years go on? Are there other projects? Or are you already making those plans?
Absolutely. We'll continue this program as long as the program's available. But I think it's a win-win for the student get the work experience, and also for employers to really see if the employee is going to be a good fit for the company.
Chris, we appreciate your time today. We're going to be back with you, particularly when the school season is really into swing. We'd like to see some of the facilities that you have at the Career Center and really kind of dive into a little bit more of how you're helping to develop the workforce of the future.
Be glad to. Thank you.
We've got Noah Grott with us. Noah is one of the young men that are working to rehab here. How are you today?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, thank you. You are a recent high school graduate from where?
Blue River Valley High School.
Okay, and you were involved with the Career Center here at Newcastle.
Correct.
What were you studying in the Career Center?
I did a building trades class, so it's a construction class. We had a house in 19th Street in Newcastle that we built. It started off from nothing, just the lot there itself, and then we had a company come in and do the foundation and the footing, and then we did everything and built the house up from there.
What was it that drove you toward the building trades?
I've always thought it was neat how things are built. So finding out like actually what goes into building a building kind of interests me. And I've always wanted to like flip houses myself when I get older. So hopefully that trade can lead me to that.
Okay. How has this project been for you this summer? And is it what you expected?
Well, it's not quite exactly what I expected. I thought we were going to be taking everything out and sanding it down from there, but keeping it in here is going to save us a lot of time. I've learned a lot of stuff from it so far, just by different wood grains and stuff, and how wood works with different sanding papers and stuff like that.
You're in an apprentice program right now. Tell us a little bit about that and what you think you want to go into.
Okay, so I'm in an apprentice program through the union. Hopefully going into highway construction and then leading into heavy equipment operation. And I start my classes next Monday actually, and then I'll be doing that for a week, and then I'll be back here sanding away.
You're going to try to get this project finished?
Yeah.
Are you going to come in here and watch some basketball games, sit on these, and get a little bit of pride from that?
Yeah, and actually that's one main reason I played basketball in here, and seeing a whole bunch of people in here and not realizing how much wear and tear really goes into the materials of these bleachers and stuff. But getting able to be a part of this has really taught me a lot about just the history and how much people really care about this place.
Cool. Noah, we appreciate you taking some time. We're going to let you get back to work. Best of luck in your career, and hopefully we'll catch up to you again.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And now we're talking with Wesley, who is a member of the crew that's working here. Wesley, you're a recent Newcastle High School graduate,
yes,
correct?
Yeah, 2019, just graduated last month.
But you were not part of the Career Center, so how did you hook on to this crew?
Well, I wanted to be in education, and I realized that construction was more of where I wanted to go. And I got word of doing this, and I thought it'd be a great experience, and it was an easy process to get on. And I've been doing it for about 4 weeks, and I'm really enjoying it. And I definitely want to keep going in this direction.
What kind of things have you learned in the last 4 weeks that has made you decide, yeah, this really is what I want to do?
I've learned to become a sander, and I've never really done that electric sanding before, and I learned how to do that. And then staining, I never did staining before, so I learned how to stain wood, and so that's about a lot.
Dealing with some different types of wood, some different types of things in here, huh? Mm-hmm. Now, one of the other things, you actually played on this court, so you have a love for this building. Talk a little bit about that.
I do. I grew up being a huge Trojan fan. Always wanted to play here, and I always loved the field house. Always talked about it when I went out of state and met people. And I know the history behind this field house, and getting to work on it and getting to make it better. It's a great feeling, and I'm proud.
Okay. You all have another few weeks to go. Where do you go from here? Do you know what your educational goals are going to be, or how you're going to continue in your interest in building?
I plan on doing an apprenticeship program for carpentry. It's a 4-year thing, and I'll get my journeyman's license, and I'll get a degree from it, and so I'll continue to do construction and continue to learn, and I'm very excited for the future.
Wesley, thank you very much for your time. I know that you got a lot of work to get done. We'll let you get back to it, and best of luck in your future, seriously.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. And we're talking with Dylan. Our first two students that we talked with were actually former students. Dylan, you are still a student, correct?
Yeah, I got one more year, one more senior year.
Yep. Well, I got one more to go. You're part of the Career Center here. What school do you go to?
National High School.
Going to be a senior?
Yep.
Okay. What are you studying at the Career Center?
I'm actually doing the ICE program, which gets me into a job that's in the same field that I'm going to go to college for, and I want to go to college to become a mechanical engineer.
Okay. What got you connected to the program here?
Our guidance counselor actually hooked me up with my vocational teacher, and then from there my vocational teacher said, "Hey, I got a summer job. I think you'll like it."
Okay. Have you liked it?
Yeah, it's hard. It's not hard work, but it is at the same time. So it's not too bad.
Okay. What about it has attracted you? What about it have you liked? Besides the fact that you wanted to work, and you said that to me off air, I wanted to work and it gave me work. What have you been able to learn from this?
So I am familiar with working on houses and stuff, but not with sanding and like staining wood, which gets me into the knowledge base of. And I got really good managers and nice people to work with, so it's a good learning experience.
What has it been like? Did you know all of the people that you're working with, and have you been able to figure out how teamwork on the job site would be?
I knew none of them to begin with, not a single one, and now I actually have multiple friends because they're all nice guys to get along with. So.
Okay. And what is it that you want to do, and how do you think you're going to get to your end goal?
For school?
Yes, for school
so,
and life.
So for college, I want to become a mechanical engineer. So for that, I'm going to do vocational and try to get into a job site that gets me knowledge for that before I go to college.
Okay.
Then I plan on going to either Ivy Tech to begin with and then transfer to a bigger school because I am actually part of the 21st scholarship. So that'll help me get into my endpoint where I want to be.
Okay.
Then from after that, I hopefully have a good paying job or have my own business, you know.
Have an interest in staying in this area?
And carpentry or all that stuff?
Regionally. Living. Do you think you could find yourself still staying here in Indiana for what you want to do?
Yeah, because family is the most important to me. I don't think I could leave my family, you know.
Okay.
So.
I know that you all have plenty of work that you want to do. Want to let you get back to it. I appreciate you taking a few minutes and talking to us.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone who took time to share with us today. On future episodes, we'll learn more about the Work Experience program. We'll also talk to some economic development directors and visit some area businesses, including Tyson Foods, Aqua Bounty, and Mersix Corporation. For employment information or for resources for area businesses in Region 6, visit easternindianaworks.org. Thanks for watching.